This is your degenerate power hour, your late night golden shower. Too ill to be sick, so thick you can't split. That carnival spin with the rictus grin. I'm Joel, he's BMO, and this is Vagrants and Vandals Radio. Episode 3, here we go, and we should stay right off the hop. Joining us today is my brother Jason. Jason, I understand you've got some sort of announcement you want to make.
Not really an announcement, but I'm just, I don't know. I just wanted to bring up to you guys, I had a bit of an incident before you boys came over, and this is a real life story. I'm not proud of it, but I've reached a point in my life. I'm married, I have kids. I have some shame, but... Before you boys came up, I shit my pants.
Nice. It happens.
And I just, I'm getting a little bit older. I'm on some medication that makes it possible to have a little bit of loose stoolage.
What was the circumstance of it?
The circumstance was he shit his pants.
What were you doing?
We got home from having some lunch. My son had his T-ball opening game today. We'd gone out to a pizzeria. I got home. I was in the kitchen getting ready to put the stuff away. My daughter and her friend went outside, thought I was in the clear, thought I was going to pass a little bit of gas, and it felt hot, steamy, and wet.
Never trust the fire.
Hot, steamy, and wet. And then I went up to use the toilet, and my son was on there. And then when he found out I shit my pants, decided he was going to take even longer getting off of the toilet.
So you sit in that stew and enjoy it.
It just makes me wonder, though, have you guys any recent episodes? And we're getting older. I mean, I'm sure it plays into it.
Now, before we go any further with this, the last 2 episodes we were in the honey hole. We're at Jason's place on the 3rd floor today. Jason, what are we calling this studio here?
I mean, I don't know if you can call it a studio. Generally, I used to always jokingly refer to it as my masturbatorium when we bought this place.
Well, then there you go. Today we are coming to you from the masturbatorium.
Why is this table so sticky?
Hey.
Got your answer now. Shit stories, though? Yeah, so here's what's been going on with me recently. Jason just had a bag delivered to him. What the hell is that?
It says it's a Three Bears Fudge Company on Biddle Avenue. My daughter just brought me a treat.
Why is who up here? This is not for children. She's leaving. Just gave me the peace sign. What is it again? Some fudge?
Some kind of fudge brownie, I think.
Well, on the topic of fudge. No, I've noticed in recent months, this has only been like the last couple months, I cannot eat like I used to. I used to be a garbage disposal. Now, if I eat anything greasy, sometimes it's within minutes. I'm having all sorts of pain in my intestines. My shits are more greasy. It's awful.
Yeah, you talking about like baby shit style?
Just, man, I gotta wipe and wipe and wipe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what?
It's a nightmare.
Horrible.
Yeah, have you need to come into the new world, my friend.
The new world?
Bidet?
I'm talking about the bidet.
He said a bidet.
A bidet. I got a bidet. I've had it for about 2.5 years now. Let me tell you, life changer.
Yeah, you've talked
about.
Don't
you have to wipe
before.
after though to dry?
So.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been times. No, I've got a dryer incorporated into it. Actually,
fuck?
It's got a seat warmer. It's got heats the water for you.
A recipe for disaster. Fucking
it does about everything besides check your prostate for you. Dang. But I think that might be part of my issue is that I've wondered often if whether or not because I really sit there and I really there's a setting called Vortex. Now I'm not even lying. You can go to my bathroom right now and you can check. It says Vortex. And I hit that, and I swear to God, sometimes I feel like if I open up my mouth, I'm just going to have water spraying out of my mouth like I'm a goddamn lawn fountain.
How do you keep it from, like, basically giving you an enema?
Tighten up.
That's exactly what do you mean? That's what it shoots water straight up your asshole.
I don't think it's supposed to go in your ass. It's supposed
yes,
to hit your
no.
Clench your butthole and let it...
Clench your butt? No. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong then.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, going up inside of you.
I kind of open up wide. I take a big gulp, and then I belch it back out with my ass.
What the fuck?
Isn't there a risk that there's going to be bacteria getting up into you?
No, it's fresh water.
Dude, your asshole should look like that when it's water's hitting it, not like that.
Brandon's demonstrating with his fist.
Yeah, I guess I just have a really thirsty asshole.
My asshole's thirsty. I almost wish I kind of had a shit now so I could try that fucking
You
thing.
can sit on it. You don't have to shit. Just sit on it and try it out, man.
My asshole's fairly clean, I'd assume. I showered before I came here, so
Okay.
to the best of my knowledge, I haven't ripped ass since then, so.
All right, then. Well, that's a hell of a way to kick off the show.
Thanks for offering a piece of that fudge, you motherfucker.
Jason.
It was a very small piece. I thought about it, but
He very sneakily.
I would have declined because I'm on a fucking diet for one, but
Hey, speaking of your diet, there was an update on your weight.
I wouldn't say it's really an update. I mean, I have.
You were bragging about it online.
I have.
Had an old picture of yourself, turkey head picture from a year ago.
I thought that was out before the last episode.
No. Yeah, it was,
yeah.
but it was earlier this week.
And I'm down from 400 to 308.
Now, Jason was disputing that 400 number earlier.
I don't know why.
Are you positive it was 400?
I'm just shocked that he was up to 400 pounds.
No,
don't
but
know.
I said that I had weighed in at like 375, and then I had gotten bigger. And now looking at the two pictures, I'd say I was roughly, and I said before, roughly 400 pounds.
Let's give it to him.
I mean, if he wants to claim 400, who am I to take it from?
But now that he's down to 308, it's almost like it's extra cred.
It's okay to say you live in the ghetto as long as you escape the ghetto. Just like you were like, I was 1,000 pounds. Now I'm 200.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering, too, if they, like maybe he just wanted to be an even 400 so he could claim he was down a Hyundai.
You know, that always cracks me up.
You look at the pictures, man. The proof's in the pudding.
When people, and like, I don't mean to discourage anyone from losing weight, but you see,
You
like,
do every single time I try to lose weight.
No,
you disparage me every time.
All I was earlier this week is because you're like clean living,
remember?
as you've got a cigarette in your hand in the picture.
Do you remember the push-ups?
Clean living.
The push-ups.
Yeah, from like a couple years ago, you was cutting me down then,
yeah, I remember.
and your then wife had to defend me. God bless her
The
soul.
push-ups, what?
She's not dead.
Oh well, dead to me.
What was the story? What's the story about the push-ups?
I was doing push-ups, doing as many as I could every day to see how many I could get to.
How many could you do at a time?
Initially, I couldn't do any.
Yeah, man. Push-ups.
I started at 0.
Yeah.
No,
I got up to 19.
Okay,
And then
well,
Joel's horrible comments drove me.
Well,
because I did push-ups the other day and I hit 5 and then I collapsed.
Remember
I don't even know if I do now.
Ryan and I were doing an episode of the Mud Puppets podcast time, and I busted out 20 on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I do
yeah.
remember that.
So it was a whole little bit we did.
Gained some
I'm
inches. I gained
thinking-
some inches where it counts. I know that. Lost some in the weights.
Oh,
I think that's probably just
some in the way.
perspective.
you saying that Foompa be shrinking?
A little bit.
Wait. So as you've lost weight,
Everything's getting more clear. That's all I can say.
you thought to yourself, I'm going to measure my dick.
Well, I happened to see a video about it,
What?
and they mentioned it, and I was like, well, I'll go check that. And I'm like, God damn.
I'll tell you what,
Who
man.
would've
I've always said that I've got a buried couple inches because I can feel it in there. But it's been my whole
but
life.
that's normal.
No. But I've always had kind of a fupa. Like I
I think everyone's, unless you're like real super in shape, everyone's got a little chub above there.
I don't know, man. But I can feel it when I got a hard on. I got a good 2-3 inches down in there. I want it back. There's actually procedures to get it back too.
I think it said
What do you mean to get it back?
For every
That's
25
just how our
pounds
bodies
you
are
gain.
designed. It's not like it just receded on you at some point in your life. You say get it back like
No,
it was
I
stolen
think
the
it's-
from
more
you.
mass around it, the bigger you are, the more mass you have around it, it's going to be more inside you.
I think
that
there's
makes
something
sense.
holding it back, and there's something they can like snip that kind of like.
Oh no,
releases
there's
it.
definitely a thing for that for sure.
Yeah.
I think we should probably call April to verify these claims of yours.
Go ahead. You do your thing. She more than pleased.
Boys, I'll be right back. It sounds as though my
please.
dog has unplugged my computer from the wall outlet, and it's on battery backup, and it will start to beep. So I'll be literally 5 seconds.
Okay. All right,
I'm gonna go have a cigarette.
just a little filler here. We had some issues getting the podcast up and going today.
Certainly.
Put us behind by like
2 hours.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I was not defeated by the universe. I found a workaround. I said I would. You guys were yakking. I was like, if they just shut the fuck up, I could figure this out. And I finally did. You know what I did want to say, though? Our moms got wind, of course, of the podcast, heard themselves mentioned in it. Last Sunday, I went down to my mom's, stopped by for Mother's Day, and I said, hey, Mom, I think you must maybe no. I brought up the podcast where she goes, "Oh yeah, Aunt Lori listened to it," and she said she doesn't know why you guys got to talk about us. I'll tell you why, Aunt Lori, because it's fun,
right? It's fun,
good stories. We just getting started. All the dirt's gonna be aired out. Just you wait.
Like I said, my mom brought it up to me, and I'm like, I didn't even mention you. Joel did, so I was just responding. And nothing bad was said. I mean, what was said? I can't remember.
The worst that was said was we basically said our moms are gossip hounds, which
that's the
is
truth.
true. I mean,
yeah, I always love when our mom like acts like she's like, I have no idea how this information got to grandma.
It's a mystery.
It's always funny where it's like, well, where'd you hear this? Well, it doesn't matter where I heard it. It's kind of pertinent to
I'm
the
like,
story.
the only person who knew was you.
Right.
And now other people know.
Now other people are asking me about it, so I'm just wondering, did you maybe say something to them? Because if you didn't, we got a real mystery on our hands. You want to know who else has a podcast?
Who's that?
One time HoloFest invitee Kevin Nash.
Oh, does he?
Kevin Nash has a podcast.
Get hold of him.
Earlier this week when I was, making posts on Instagram, I made that one, of course, with Kevin Nash, and I came across his Instagram. I was like, I'm going to invite him to be a collaborator on this post, and then I tagged him in the post, and that led me to discover his podcast. A lot of the former wrestlers have podcasts. It's called Click This, Click KLIQ, as in the old behind-the-scenes faction that he was in with Scott Hall, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Sean Waltman.
What vindication would be to actually get to talk to me. He's like, I do remember HoloFest. Yeah. I was going to go. Like, my limousine broke down.
My cousin did tell me about that.
He's like, I showed up and I just had the wrong address. Good old HoloFest.
Yeah, HoloFest.
Yeah, good time.
Those were the days.
So now, before we get into it, fellas, because Jason, you are here partly today to answer some accusations made by Brandon.
Well, I thought I was here because this is my fucking house, but
well, that too, yes, and we very much appreciate that.
I mean, we couldn't have done it at my house.
Okay.
Brandon, you had made a note earlier about Monroe, Michigan. Has apparently some special status.
The new title of drunkest city in Michigan.
And who's this according to?
US 103.1. So I don't really know what
some radio station.
But yeah, it just goes on to say that people in Monroe drink a lot more than the rest of the state.
Does it say why? Does it say how this study was conducted?
No, it doesn't say any of that. So I don't know how real. Scientific this was, but more adults.
I'm going to go ahead and say not at all.
Oh, a lot of it has to do with alcohol-related fatal accidents.
Oh.
Monroe was like 42.59.
42.59. Yeah. What's that even mean?
Like 42% of the fatal car crashes are alcohol-related. I'm assuming that's all that reads.
Oh, really?
It's not good.
Huh. Damn.
Yeah, people in Monroe not making good decisions.
Better be careful out there, bro.
Drinking and driving. Well, why would I be careful? I don't drink and drive. I never have.
I'm saying...
How many DUIs do I have? A zero.
How many do you have? Here we go.
How many do you have?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's round number.
I have
like one.
What? How many? Like I have more than one.
One more than me, motherfucker.
No, damn well I got one.
I never been to jail. Never been in the handcuffs.
Yeah, I spent the night.
Me neither.
Highly overrated.
It's amazing.
I don't recommend.
You know what I tell people? It's like, they gotta catch you first.
Exactly.
They got to catch you.
You clearly were
going to jail's not an accomplishment.
A wrong way and a one way in Monroe.
Yeah, that was it.
The
right?
drunkest city in the state. This guy's driving drunk down a one-way street.
I did that even when I wasn't drunk. Actually, there's a lot of one-way streets in Monroe.
Not so much anymore.
No,
they got all those from 7th, 8th. Nine,
well,
those are all two ways.
Too fucking confused for all the goddamn drunks.
Petition. I remember that day. Sarah answered the phone. We were at my dad's. Sarah answers the phone, and I just had a feeling by the way she was listening on the phone that something was going on, and she hangs up without ever saying anything. But she was on the phone for a minute or so because it was a collect call. And it probably
From
said something.
jail.
Yeah, it probably said collect call from Monroe County Jail.
I don't even remember
My mom
calling.
in
I
jail,
tried
come
calling
get me.
Dad. I tried
I'm
calling.
drinking too much.
I tried calling Dad's house.
Yes, because
jeez.
so Sarah, she's on the phone and just listening. I'm like, what? And she's just listening, and then she gets off the phone and kind of just stares into space, and then she says, "I think Jason's in jail," and I nearly fell over
not
laughing.
the golden child.
Yeah. Not my proudest moment. I will confess.
Good times.
Not my proudest moment.
Okay,
Is
now
it, was it worse than being completely nude on the front steps of Raisin apartment? Because that could have landed you on a sex offenders list, bro. That's way worse than a DUI.
Yeah, well, that didn't cost me like $7,000.
Never run for office.
So.
That picture's out there
Damn.
floating around.
Oh yeah,
somewhere,
where's
dude.
that picture?
Someone's got that picture.
You know how pixelated that picture is on some goddamn flip phone from 20 years ago? Ain't no one gonna be able to make out shit.
That's his excuse for his genitals in one hand. It was all pixelated.
Hey man, it was a cold night, all right?
okay, so now I want to. Okay, so on episode 1, I believe it was, Brandon BMO here detailed.
How dare you use my real name?
Detailed an incident in which he accused Jason of selling him out to his mother.
Straight up.
My Aunt Lori, Jason's Aunt Lori, Brandon's mother. Now, before we get into the specific allegations, gentlemen, I'll be acting as the neutral arbiter here. I want to know
Arbiter.
how is it that you two came to live together in this apartment in the first place?
I mean,
Remember, I was gonna move into George's apartment.
was that at the same time?
It was before
Well,
that.
no, remember George, like, he rescinded it at the last second or something.
And then
Brandon had all his shit in a pile, and like, I was going to move him, and then I can't remember what you and George got into, and George is like, you know what? You're not having it.
Now, before we go any further, I mean, aren't we obligated to say R.I.P.?
I mean,
Rip, George.
I guess.
Hey, don't.
Rest in peace,
Oh,
George.
please.
You son of a bitch! You ate my pies.
He's probably still fucking haunting Joel for that ladder, too.
Probably trying to cross the veil, call me all sorts of names about that ladder.
It wasn't the most likable guy in the world, but
Yeah, you know,
God rest his
people
soul.
like that have their own ghosts and that created them or who they are.
Let's not
so.
make excuses for his shit behavior now.
Oh, I mean, you know.
listen, I don't want to hear my mom call me when this
Man,
comes
Yeah,
out.
I was
man,
gonna
we're
say.
at the
We
slash
know
my
damn
tires.
well it's gonna happen. So
He was particularly obsessed with that ladder, though. Of all the things that went
it was
down,
on video. The fact that it was on video and he knew that we were just watching it over and laughing every time it broke.
All right. Now listen. To be fair, I'm going to be completely fair and transparent here. All right? That morning when we got to your mom's, because I think I picked you up,
Yeah.
and Amanda rode in the bed of the truck. My old red Chevy, which there was no cover on. Anyways.
All the way out to Luke's. Holy shit.
No, it was at Mark's dad's house
just
in
as
Carlton.
bad,
But
just as
yeah,
bad.
completely unsafe. We got to your mom's that morning, okay? Because I'm going to spread the blame around here, okay? I'm going to spread it around. I asked your mom. I didn't just take the ladder. I asked Aunt Lori. I said, "Hey, I'm like, can we borrow this ladder?" She specifically said, "Take George's," because they were split up at the time, and George had moved out, and his shit had been
That sounds about correct.
his shit had been sitting there in the garage probably for several months. So I took it as she was saying, "Well, take George's," and basically like, well, in case something happens to it, because
Go ahead and take that and destroy it. It'd be
No,
all right.
I didn't not take it and destroy it, but I took it as, well, they weren't together anymore. He left this shit. She didn't care what happened to it. And even at that point, I wasn't thinking, great, we're gonna break it. It happened to get broken that day in the fashion when I was power bombed by Brandon onto it. And the only reason it became such a thing, okay, you know what? I didn't even know it was broken that day. Hand to God, did not realize it was broken. I realized it only when you called me a couple days later and said, "Hey, George is really upset that ladder's broken." And I was
You're
like,
like, what the fuck is he doing back?
well, yeah, two thoughts. I was like, "Oh, really? It's broken?" And then two, I thought he was out of the picture. What's the big deal?
He was like a coleslaw. He just kept coming back.
So after that, no one else may remember, but I think I talked to you because I was in college at the time. I didn't have any fucking money. Those ladders cost like $80. You, Mark, and someone else. I was like, "Can we pool some money to replace this ladder. And before, just as that conversation really got going, you got back to me. It was like, George says he's going to slash your tires. Well, you know how I am. After I heard that, I was like, well, fuck him now. He ain't getting shit. And then that spurred on a years-long feud over a busted ladder.
Hated up both of us.
Yeah.
Till the end. Till the bitter end.
I was called so many names. So many names.
Yeah, he was something else. He was a character.
All right.
He claimed to be the original Monroe Bigfoot.
Yeah,
What?
I've heard the story.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he made that. He made a lot of audacious claims, things I won't say.
Well,
on the
he
air
was
'cause-
pretty ballsy then, because I remember hearing the stories. I knew people that lived there back then. They said there were a bunch of rednecks out there with their guns, and they were going to go hunt them down. And
That sounds about right.
He claims
Wow.
that was him.
the
So
Monroe Monster, as it was called.
he was a monster, all right.
You remember that day? Well, the day he told us that story, this is like back in like summer of 2000, 2001 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He also started telling us some story about being up north hunting. And I don't remember the point of the story. All I remembered was at the end of the story, he kept saying, what happens hunting stays up hunting. Do you remember that?
So that means gay shit happened.
That was what I took away from it. Because I was like, what the hell? Either that or, I mean, you broke some sort of laws or... I don't
He's
know.
like, sometimes your buddy just wants to suck your dick when you're in the woods. You do what you got to do. What happens to you stays here.
It's like I closed my eyes and pretended it was a doe. All right, let's get off that subject. That's quite a sidewinder that I'm sure we'll both be bitched at for.
Mom, I look forward to the phone call of you complaining.
Look, we didn't say anything disparaging. We just told the truth.
So getting
we
back
can
on
imply he was
track, you wanted
homosexual.
to...
Yes. The end.
Getting back on track. So you were set to move in with George.
No, I was gonna take his apartment because he was moving into the house on Noble
And where was his apartment at?
over by Old Town.
Okay.
And I used to golf all the time, so I'm like, fuck, this is perfect. Little pad right on the golf course. Nah.
Okay,
too,
but
too good to be true.
But you pissed him off. He said, "Go to hell."
And then I don't know. I think
So it's not clear in my mind if that was the same time period. I don't remember if it was the exact time, but
dude, it was within a month.
was it?
Yeah, I promise you, dude.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just know I reached a point where Mom was gonna start charging me to live at her house, and
do you remember why? Because I do.
Was it drinking?
No, not specifically.
Dude, I remember at the time. So we're talking summer, what, 04?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Mom, because I was living at Dad's at the time, but anytime I was down there, Mom was always bitching because...
Why were you living at Dad's?
I lived at Dad's from 01 to 05.
No, I know, but I don't remember.
That's a different story.
He don't like delving into his
We
own
should
bullshit.
focus in on that one.
Well, I'll talk about... Okay, well, long story short, I moved in with Dad after I graduated high school, partly out of spite, because I was an angry 18-year-old, and I was like, fuck this, I don't want to live here anymore. And I remember one night...
Because she threw away those old shoes of yours?
Nah, that was a separate incident. No, Mike, like, okay, my stepdad, we have a great relationship now, but like we could butt heads back then, and there was some incident, and he was bitching at me, and I felt it was completely unfair to me. I felt like no one was listening to me, so I was like, fuck this, I'm moving out. So I started packing my shit that night, and the next day, when I'd calmed down, my mom just continued packing my shit.
Hit the bricks, motherfucker. You
She's
out.
like, I'll call his bluff.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm moving in with Dad. So I rationalized by thinking, well, at the time I figured that it's a little closer to Eastern, which it really wasn't. It's just a different
just a
route.
different route,
It's really
yeah.
about the same. Okay, but I remember being down there one night, and it was me and you and John in the driveway, and you were drunk as shit.
Oh.
And you were going on and on about, like, you've always been Mom's favorite. And then he was like, I don't know why. I'm a straight A student. Like, he's running me down while building himself up. But then he's also saying to me, nothing against you. I'm like, really? Nothing against me? Because this all sounds like it's against me. And then I remember it was the only time in our adult lives where I was like, I'm going to punch him right in the fucking face. Because for the most part, like, you and I get along other than giving each other shit. Like, we don't, like, not at each other's throats or anything. But I was like, I'm getting sick of hearing this shit. So then, Mom gets...
because he was drunk, so obviously he wasn't dropping it, and I got it.
What do you mean?
When he was going
Right,
on
he was just going on, and he was piling on. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, sounds like you need some therapy. So then...
You don't handle your booze very well.
So then Mom wakes up because of, like, just, I guess, maybe him just being loud. and it's the middle of the night, and she's like, she's angry at me. So now I'm pissed off. She's like, what is going on out there? I'm like, well, currently, and I like look back out the door. I'm like, currently he's pissing in the driveway. I'm like, but he's out there just bitching and moaning. And then I just remember a series of those events where my perception was Mom eventually was like, listen, stop this shit.
Keep part of that being his perception.
Were you not going out and getting drunk frequently and coming in the middle of the night?
Define frequently.
Should I get Mom on the phone for this?
One or more DUIs. That's how I define it.
No. One. Thank you very
so
much.
it seemed at the time it was pretty much like Mom said, either stop doing this or you're going to start paying rent or you're going to have to move out.
And I was like, guess I'm leaving.
And you were like, well, I ain't going to stop. So
no, it got to the point where it was very obvious that I needed to move out. And it wasn't just that. It was she was going to, charge me rent, which is understandable. But her whole thing had always been she wouldn't charge rent as long as we were in school.
Right.
Which I was still in school.
Went out the fucking
So,
window.
yeah. And
you violated the guidelines.
I'm like, I'm not going to pay rent for some place where I can't even do what I want. I can't,
That was my whole reason for wanting to move out. Like, I'm not paying rent if I can't do what I fucking want.
like my bedroom's not even my bedroom.
I still gotta
We
be in by
couldn't.
10 o'clock. Like,
I mean,
no.
like I tell people now, like our room, if you would have went in my room, it looked like a little boy's room. Like,
Yeah.
there's like sailboats and whatever. That's the way we were raised. We grew up that way. But, it's like, I'm not going to be paying freaking rent as like a 20, I don't know if I was 22 or 23. I couldn't, I couldn't have a lady, a female friend come by and stay over later, which I understand. It was just time. It was time for me to move on.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So you fellas end up together at River Raisin Apartments
We
for
did.
what was a tumultuous, 15 months or so?
I know. I think
I didn't say it was that bad until it got bad. I mean, it was fun for a while. We did a lot of fun things there.
I have a lot of good formative memories there.
Remember throwing you through a plate glass table over a fish stick?
Well,
Or
a
you
fish stick.
It was over a fish stick.
Nah, it was something better than that.
No, it was fried fish from Pete's Garage.
No.
It might have been fried fish.
It was fried fish from Pete's Garage.
Yeah, but you act like I'm just trying to take your food. No.
I seem to
That's not how
remember
played out.
that it was something that was left over. It was like
Yeah.
a chalupa from Taco Bell or something.
No. It was something from Pete's Garage,
Fried
and
fish.
I used to we would play cards at our
Yep.
apartment.
Yep.
And I would be probably closing Tiffany's, so time I get off. Yeah, I'd get there late. I'd shower. I'd drink a 40 in the shower to get ready, catch up with you guys. And I was hungry, and Brandon's like, "Oh, I got some leftovers from Pete's." And I was like, "All right, cool." And so I get him out of the fridge, and he's like, "Oh, let me look at that for a minute." So he looks at it, he assesses the food, and he goes, "You know what?" He goes, "I can't. I paid good money for this." He's like, "I can't just give this to you for nothing." I'm like, "Oh, okay, dude. What do you want for it?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think you at least you gotta give me about $2 for it." I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever. I'll give you $2 for it." So I get the $2 out. The next thing you know, he's like, "Well, hold on a minute." He's looking at the food again like it's a goddamn fucking piece of art or something.
Appraisal.
Yeah, he's really appraising it, like he's checking it, see how the batter is on the shit. And then he's like, "You know what? This actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to charge you $5 if you want this." I'm like, and I said something like, "You're a son of a bitch." I'm like, "You fucking kidding me?" So I'm like, "Whatever." I'm like, I go to give him the $5. Then he decides, he goes, "No, you know what? This stuff looks too good to sell," and he shoves it in his mouth. So then,
Yeah. Okay.
Then,
So far, this is all keeping in line with what I remember because Brad and I were still in the middle of our poker game. You had already been knocked out. Okay, so continue. Yes, continue.
yeah. So he shoves the food in his mouth. I go to I go at him to I don't know if I was trying to get the rest of the food.
You guys were at that point wrestling over the food. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much we were wrestling over
Good fish.
over some shitty fucking cold leftovers, and I'm a little bit inebriated, and he pushes me, and I lose my balance, and next thing you know, I'm going through a plate glass coffee table.
I'll never forget just being like, boom, one hand on the chest.
Yeah, and I woke up. I didn't wake up. I mean, I didn't pass out. But I remember I was just laying there, and I was like, and I was feeling my stomach.
Yeah, I do remember you doing this.
I just
Yeah,
felt.
the glass was
I just
sticking up,
felt.
you're like-
I felt for sure in a movie, there's just gonna be a big shard of glass pierced through my whole entire
Very
body.
easily could have been. I remember your shirt was ripped. Like it cut your shirt, but not cut your skin.
I don't remember that. I
So
remember there was
remember-
nothing. I remember there was thousands of pieces. It was almost like a like a car window, just shattered
Yeah,
into
well, it
thousands
was
of
glass
pieces.
from Guardian Glass I got.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I remember seeing because Brandon went down too, but he went down like on top of you.
Yeah,
And
I think he put it. Yeah,
when,
which made it all so much better.
when you went through the table, I remember I was instantly like falling over laughing.
Yeah.
And Brad was like
Brad was shocked,
like a mother hen. He was
Brad had never seen anything like this in his life
he
before.
was he had both hands out and he was shouting, "Wait! Wait!" And I'm thinking, they already went through the glass. His instructions were for me. He's like, "We can't laugh yet. We don't know if he's dead."
Yeah,
But yeah, Jason was on the couch. I remember he was feeling his chest and then he was going,
I do. I remember I fully expected to find a piece just sticking right through me.
Oh, I've been going to prison. That'd have been sweet.
good time. Like, gentlemen, what was this over?
That would
Like,
have been the best if
Killed my cousin over leftover fish.
Brandon had to serve prison over a fight over fucking leftovers.
God, that would have been horrible. Collect call from jail.
all right. Okay, so there's that was a fun incident. I don't think anyone was actually angry that night. Let's focus
I
on
think we got right back to poker.
let's focus on the incident that you were accused of. Brandon, if you could refresh us.
He went and ratted me out to my mom saying that I was talking on my phone, using up all my minutes, which was complete bullshit because I had free nights and weekends.
I
You can't see
heard
the shit-eating grin right now, but it's there. It's there.
got a shit-eating
You don't
grin.
fucking know.
No, I'm just saying. I listened to the first podcast and I heard this, and I was like, of all the things that went on there, I don't remember this. Like, I mean, maybe I'm not denying it happened. I'm denying it probably went down the way he's implying it went
she
down.
sold you out, bro.
I just
sold you
called
out.
I just called your
Call her.
mom.
Call her.
Called your mom, was like, "Hey, Aunt Lori, I've got real bad concerns that Brandon's really running up the phone bill." And people nowadays don't understand, though. Having a cell phone back then wasn't the same as it is now. You got charged per minute.
Okay.
Per minute.
Yeah, fine, but like, why was that your concern?
Well, and
It wasn't.
So I've been thinking about it. The only thing I can possibly think of, and I'm sure I probably was bitching to mom about it, and she probably told Aunt Lori. I can't possibly imagine calling Aunt Lori.
I don't know what I'd be bitching your mom about me talking on my cell phone.
Because I'm assuming it played into the part where you stopped paying the bills.
But that was way before that, though. That was way before that.
I don't know exactly because, like I said, my memory on this is incredibly
I didn't quit
fuzzy.
paying rent until I lost my job from Guardian. And that was way before that.
No, I don't know. There was a few situations.
I'm gonna lay out those drinks, bro.
There was a few situations there.
Okay. So we've got a few details that we can't agree on, but at the end of the day,
Can we agree that he was being a fucking asshole? Can we agree on that?
it sounds like there was definitely some
I was
contention
the asshole.
there.
This man was subletting his walk-in
After
closet
the
to a
fact.
homeless man.
You created a monster. You deal with what you created, bro.
Oh, wait.
Like, you're the scum of the fucking earth.
Hold on. So now Jason, in part of Jason's defense is to pivot here and bring up one of Brandon's controversies. He was subletting the living room closet
I'm a fucking entrepreneur,
to a homeless
all right?
man.
I'm an entrepreneur.
So here's my memory of this situation.
Now, before you go on, I will say to the listening audience, this story is true. I remember the man. I met the man.
Well, it's hard to forget a man named
In
Durf.
fact, you tell your story.
You forgot us.
I will tell you how and when Brandon introduced him
I
to
ran
me.
into him about a year ago. He had no idea who I was. Wow. Like he had been wiped by them Men in Black, bro. They neuralized his ass.
He was your roommate. He doesn't even remember.
Does not remember
you.
me at all.
So here's my recollection of that event.
Yeah.
So, and this was a time from my memory, and again, I'll admit maybe some of the timetable and everything that was going on isn't exactly right, but from what I remember, it was a time when Brandon had lost a job, and I believe Grandma had paid his rent the previous month.
Oh snap!
He had just gotten a job.
Brandon just shook his head no. By the way, folks,
He had just gotten a job, from my recollection. So I'm saying I could be wrong, but I remember I came home no. I'm sorry. I was laying in my bed. That's right. I used to. No, okay, no. That's right. That's what I did. So, anyways, I knew Brandon was at work because he'd started a new job. So I didn't have my contacts or glasses in. But so now I sleep naked, or at least I used to when I could. So like I go walking.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because this is how I found out your little scheme that you had going. Oh. So I walked to the kitchen. To go get something to drink or eat, I don't recall which, and I walked back into the living room, back into my room, and I noticed that there was a form on the couch, and I was like,
"What's called the shape?
What the hell was that?" Yeah, the shape. He's like Michael Myers. So I get back into my room, and I'm laying on the bed, and I'm thinking like, who the hell is that? And again, I have awful vision if I don't have any contacts.
I was
in.
working drywall then. That shit sucked too.
Something. But anyway, so I'm like laying there, and I'm like, oh, maybe he just had a friend stay over or whatever. And I'm like, but I started getting more and more like, what the hell? Like, who is this person? So I'm like laying there, and then I hear this person like get up, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're leaving. I'm like, they must have saw me like naked walking back into my room. Like, what a freaking sight. And I had like that long, hair, just I'm hairless everywhere else. Must have been quite the sight. Anyways, I hear this person leave, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's
He's
cool.
like, I just saw myself a vanilla Sasquatch.
Then I hear a key go into the door lock to my apartment and lock the fucking door.
Our apartment, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
That's included in too.
That's
our apartment.
Yeah. So that's what started the whole Durf situation. And I will tell you what.
That was the man's name was Durf.
Was that his real name?
Couldn't have been his real name.
No, his last name was Durfy.
Oh, Durfy.
Okay.
So everyone call him Durf.
Yeah.
It was a fitting name.
Well, I'll tell you what, by the end of that day, I remember I was delivering pizzas and going back and forth. At one point, I even had Amanda staying at the apartment to make sure this person didn't show back up. And I'm trying to deliver pizzas, and I'm on the phone screaming at Brandon so much. Our sister.
Okay, well, I thought maybe you were talking about...
No.
What?
No.
Ex's name?
Yeah. No.
Bulldog pussy?
Jesus Christ, man.
That's what I used to call her.
What the I don't know.
I'm going to have to mute that one. I'm going to have to censor that.
Jesus.
What are the odds she could be listening to that?
Thanks for causing me the fucking work. She's friends with both of us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies, Bulldog pussy.
Bulldog pussy.
I don't even know why I called her that.
Why you guys keep saying it? I'm going to have to keep bleeping
It was
it.
something to do with a lot of pubic hair and frothiness. I don't know. I can't remember.
Frothiness?
I remember telling me, and that's what I said, like a bulldog.
All right. Well,
This whole segment is just going to be
wow.
bleeped.
Yeah.
All right?
We're going to have to cut this whole thing now.
Jesus, man.
Just bleep names.
All the names are going to get bleeped without a doubt. No doubt.
But I remember, and I'm going yelling at Brandon, and he's the best part was he was trying to act like he's helping this guy out.
Right.
I was helping him.
You was helping yourself.
Yeah.
Back on his feet.
Getting him back on his feet. Meanwhile, he was taking like, what was it, like $30-$35 a week or something from him?
I think it was 50 a week.
50 a week so he could sleep in Brandon's walk-in
He
closet.
got like state money because he was a little fucked in the head.
Yeah, and so...
He used to watch me while I slept.
We couldn't tell. No, so wait a second. You say Brandon's walk-in closet. Wasn't he sleeping in the closet in the living room?
A spacious
No, so
walk-in
I
closet.
guess what he would do is... what was he doing? Because...
I don't know. Once I left,
But was he usually in your walk-in closet?
I can't remember. I used to
It
wake
wasn't
him up
even
and make him
that
go in
big.
the living room so I could lock my door. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Of course he wants to lock his fucking door.
I don't want my shit getting
He
stolen.
wants to lock his door so the homeless guy doesn't steal his
Like,
shit.
Here's our new roommate. You might want to lock your door.
When he went to bed, I shut the door. I put the padlock over. I realized I'd see you in the morning. Click.
Okay, now I got a question before Jason gets back to this where he's screaming at you on the phone. How did you even meet Durf?
Through.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now the story makes sense.
Mr.
Again,
That's another whole tale.
Probably should bleep. his name
Yeah,
out.
you have to stop with the last names. Talk all the shit you want. Just give them aliases.
Did I say a last name?
Yeah. Wait.
I don't know
Yeah.
that chick's last name, do I?
I don't know. One of you guys did. So when you're bitching
Sounds
at
right.
me, when you're bitching at me this week, going, "Hey, can I get a preview of the podcast?" I'm like, "No, because I'm still fucking editing out all the
Yeah,
bullshit."
that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're yelling at Brandon on the phone.
We need to protect the innocent. Yeah, so, and I just recall, like, I was just so infuriated because he just, like, was so, you would have thought he was in the right.
Yeah,
like,
right,
he was, like, telling me, like, he's like, I don't know
wasn't
what
in
to,
the wrong.
yeah, he goes, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Durf's here to stay. And I'm like, The fuck? I'm like, what do you mean Durf's here to stay?
What,
like
you can have people over? I can't have people over? I gave you the room in the bathroom, you motherfucker.
When you're there. when I wake up and there's still a dude there, and then I find out that you're renting him your walk-in closet and he's a homeless guy who's got mental health issues, I have a bit of an issue. And the best part was you're trying to act like you're doing it for his benefit.
I'm a humanitarian, bro.
A humanitarian. Yeah. But I remember that was the highlight was when he said to me, I don't know what to tell you, man. Durf's here to stay.
I almost killed that guy. Fucking New Year's.
When?
Probably around that time.
Then?
Yeah. He was a fucking massive alcoholic. Well, I fucking was pouring him shots of vodka, and I was doing water. And he didn't realize I had a bottle of water there I was filling it up with. And we're matching shot for shot for shot. He did like 15 fucking shots, dude. And then the ambulance had to be called. He was blacked out. I'm like, oh,
was that when he pissed and shit his pants over?
Probably. Didn't he puke? Puke?
So
wearing my clothes, it's puked on.
So yeah. So then, and I kind of honestly, I really felt bad because then sounds like it. Listen,
well, because you eventually had a meeting of the minds with Durf.
Well, that was later on. But when I got home that night, there was like some steaks and stuff, and apparently Durf had taken his food stamps and he had bought all he was gonna make like this.
Guy.
He was gonna make this nice dinner, but still, it's like I told him later on.
I mean, he was trying.
It had nothing to do with you, man.
I'm like, you better appease this motherfucker, make him happy.
I go, put yourself in my shoes. Like, how would you have reacted?
He's like, I've worn your shoes; they're comfortable as fuck.
It's not like Brandon came to me and said, "Hey, man, I got this friend.
Right.
I want to help him out for a little bit." No, there's just a stranger.
I figured you'd figure it out
with the key to my apartment. Like, mind blown. But yeah, then it was like I don't remember how much longer it was. I went to a party over at what's her name's at your friend Holly and
again
Tim.
with the names.
Well, whatever, Holly and Tim. And,
first names are fine.
Anyways, Durf was there, and there was also the other name was going to be showing up, and
right.
that was
that's the day I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the same night that we had to call the ambulance.
Wait. So Durf was going to be who's the other name? What are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
He walked several miles to come to beat my ass.
Oh,
Jason was hiding in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We can get into that another time. I wasn't I was in the bathroom, but at the request.
Were you using the bathroom?
Of Holly. No, because she was
then you were hiding.
No.
You were hiding from him.
She did. I was not.
Then he attacked me because he couldn't find you. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
The guy's like 2 feet shorter than me. Like, I mean, come on. Although my buddy Chris looks out there and he goes, he looks like the type might carry a switchblade. Other than that, I think you could take him. But anyways, so Durf was at this party, and Durf comes out and he's like, "Hey man, I just really want to apologize." And I said, "Listen, dude," I go, "I don't know you, but just, and I said, "Listen, from my perspective," and he's like, "I understand." So we were doing some shots together, and this like tall preppy guy shows up. He's like, "Hey guys." He's like, "Let's do a shot together." And so anyways, we're doing the shot. The preppy guy does a shot.
Who the hell's he?
I don't know. He's some other party goer.
Yeah. Okay.
Just some other fine, upstanding citizen. Jeez, Joel.
I was moving him into your closet.
We had a lot of parties where there were random people there we didn't know.
Okay.
And anyways, this guy does a shot, and then he immediately just like projectile vomits all over Durf. I'm serious. Just like Problem Child 2, where they just all remember when those parents are like puking on that kid's head? It was like literally just pukes right on him. Oh my god.
And Durf was wearing my fucking clothes. I lent him clothes for the party.
What a humanitarian.
Shortly after that, Durf had consumed so much alcohol.
I rented those clothes out.
He passed out, and they put him in a bed, and then at one point, somebody goes in there, and they're like, "I'm pretty sure he shit his pants."
Well, who's in there monitoring that situation?
Well, somebody went in to go check.
Who are you to judge? You just shit your pants today, so
yeah. What? 25 years later, motherfucker?
That wasn't 25 years. 18 years ago. Let's not exaggerate.
God, man, that's 18? Crazy. That long ago.
That's 2005.
Whatever, 18, 19, whatever, man.
2005.
Okay, close to 20 years ago.
Then you also shit in the closet there and picked through the fibrous of the turd. Well, you did. You did.
What are you looking at me for?
What the fuck?
Side-eyeing me as if I had something to do with it.
You can't, just, bring that up without any context.
What's the context? You were drunk as hell. You went to sleep in the closet. You woke up in the morning and thought, "Hey, what is this?" And then you started digging through it like a fucking chimpanzee.
And I was still drunk. It was dark. All right, there was just moonlight I was going by, and I thought it was like
moonlight.
It's like, ooh, McDonald's sausage.
Honestly, I thought it was like a rotted out kiwi or something. That's what it looked like, and I picked it up and was like. And then I remember I'm like going through it, breaking it up. I think I even sniffed it.
Yeah, you told me that.
And I'm just like, sometimes when I used to tell the story years ago, I'd just start gagging. I could hardly get through it. And then I just went and I like laid back down. And then I remember laying there and I was like, no. Seriously, what the hell could that possibly be? And I got up and I confirmed it was Dookie. And I mean, I don't know for a fact it was mine. Yes, I was naked laying on the couch somewhere where I wouldn't normally have been sleeping, but...
Let's. I think it was sometime around HallowFest 05. I think maybe my one and only
Hangman's Revenge.
Yeah, my one and only interaction with Durf. It was like you, for the first time in your life, had your own little puppet, and I was in Jason's room. I think I was playing a video game, and you and Durf were in the doorway, and we bullshitted for a minute, and then you look at Durf like he was some sort of special ed student, and you go, "Durf, the fuck's wrong with you? That's my cousin Joel. Say hello." And then he goes, this poor guy, he just goes, "Oh, hey, I'm Durf." And I'm like, yeah, I surmised that much. And that was it.
Poor guy's like Smeagol or something.
Kind of, yeah. All right, so how does the Durf saga end? Now, and I got a question for you, Brandon.
I flee to Owasso and leave Jason there to deal with it.
Oh, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, you said earlier you were charging Durf $50 a week, which I'm questioning where this homeless man was getting $50 a week from.
He got state money because he was fucking head.
Okay,
He's probably stealing it out of my fucking room.
$200 a month. Then, what were you guys paying in rent at the time? Do you remember?
Yeah, we paid it was $600
total. So Brandon was effectively paying $100 while Durf was living there.
Well, like I said, I don't believe the previous month he'd paid it all. There was a point where, like, we used to buy food, we'd go half and half, would put in there. Then after a while, I got this little mini fridge in my room, and I put all my food in the mini fridge.
I still got into that mini fridge, motherfucker. I don't care where you keep it. I'm getting to it.
He still got in there.
All right, so do either of you remember how the Durf saga came to an end?
The last time I met Durf was at that party. I subsequently do believe I saw him walking around Monroe at some point, like years later, I think, but I didn't interact with him.
Okay, so at the party you have...
Oh, you know what? He started sleeping with that big chick Anna that lived downstairs.
Did he?
Yeah, and I think he started staying with her.
So that was how he transitioned out of your guys' place and then eventually out of the building.
Became Big Chick Anna's problem. But he was back in the building at that point because Big Chick Anna lived there.
But he wasn't, at least in your place.
Hey, what would be my apartment now?
Big Chick Anna.
Building, but...
So you had this heart-to-heart with Durf at that party, and then after that it kind of dissipated.
Yeah, last time I saw Durf, he was face down with a pair of shitty pants on.
Damn, that's rough, Durf. Durf, if you're out there and you're listening, man, you're welcome to get a hold of us.
Is there any chance possible that Durf is still walking the earth?
Yeah, I just seen him like a year ago.
Oh, it was about a year ago?
I
didn't even recognize
him. He looked horrible.
Where'd you run into him at?
Downtown. I was playing Pokemon with the boys.
How old was he back then?
He's like my age. Oh like, well, maybe a little bit older, like age. He's about
so late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Yeah. I seen him. He was walking by, and I was like, "Hey, Durf." He's like looking at me. I'm like, "Durf, it's Brandon." He's like, I'm like, "All right, man. Have a good day. I got my kids."
You're like, "Don't you remember? I sublet a closet to you once. My cousin was pissed about it."
I think you're gonna have to be a little more specific.
Okay, so now we've got about 10 minutes left here on this episode. Folks out there, if you want to participate in the show, send us questions, comments, any kind of feedback, you can do that by emailing Vagrants, the letter N, Vandals, @gmail.com. Once again, that is Vagrants, Vandals, @gmail.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram,
boom, boom.
And, of course, subscribe on YouTube. All right, now, Brandon did make another comment on the heels of the cell phone rat out. This was more of a general comment on when he eventually moved out and the bad blood that persisted in the fallout of that. He said, and I quote, I'm paraphrasing, I shouldn't say quote, his hands weren't clean.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that was said for possibly some chuckles because, I mean, honestly, I don't know how anybody could straight look at the situation and say that I was somehow at fault for what went down.
Now, let's fill everyone. What went down was essentially...
And let's even go over the last night that Brandon was in town, if you remember.
So, Brandon, you weren't working for whatever reason, and you had this girlfriend at the time, and you just decided at some point you were going to straight up leave town.
That's right. That morning, actually. That morning.
Okay,
the morning of is the
So he decided that morning, but... When I got home that evening, I don't remember exactly how I went down. We all decided we were going to go to Pete's garage.
No, me and I think we were going to meet you there.
But Brandon didn't have money. So if I remember right,
well, that's what happens when you don't have a job.
I gave him money to go to Pete's garage.
After the Durf saga, you loaned him money.
Dude, so no, keep in mind now. So him and they finish eating or whatever. And he checks out early, which was unusual that he would check out early.
had to catch my bus out of town, motherfucker.
He had to check out early so he could go pack a bag and run away up to Owasso.
Some hide in bathrooms, some hide in cities up north. What do you want?
You tell me how my hands weren't clean.
Fight or flight, motherfucker. Fight or flight.
So
I flew my ass up north.
Essentially left Jason to cover the other half of the rent.
Well, yeah.
I left him
and then made sure to take a meal for the road.
A prospective roommate.
Okay, so at what point do you discover his plot?
Well, the funny part was he had told somebody we were with at Pete's that's what was going to happen. I can't remember who the hell it was, though.
I don't know who I would have told that to.
And they did not tell me while he was there. They ended up, I think after we got back to my apartment, I was like, where the hell is he at?
Oh, yeah. He said he was leaving.
And then I think, I don't know if it was John. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. But I do remember somebody was like, yeah, he said he was going to. I'm like, I remember kind of being like, you wouldn't have fucking told me? Like, what the hell?
It's not like I took your shit. How are you going to stop me?
I mean, not that I'm going to stop
I'd be like, I'm fucking leaving. Goodbye.
I wouldn't at least give you money to freaking...
a free meal and a beer to go.
Yeah, no
Thank
kidding.
you very much, sir.
All right, so...
Well, here's the stupid part. He leaves pretty much all of his belongings.
Right, I remember this.
What was I going to do? I couldn't bring it all.
Well, it wasn't very well thought out now, was it?
I planned it that morning, motherfucker. I took my pillows, some clothes, and what was ever left in your mini fridge and got the fuck out.
Okay, so wait a second, though. So, Brandon, why did you decide that this was your best move at this point?
Because I had somewhere to live up there.
So was it because... at the time was going up to school
right,
or
yeah,
something up there?
she went to Baker College. She had an apartment up there.
Okay, and so she was like, come with me, Big Daddy,
like
I'll take care of you.
You got to shack up with the girlfriend. Get somewhere to lay low for a while.
Okay, so that was all it was about.
That's it.
You were just thought, hey, I got to get through to tomorrow. This is my next move.
Yep.
So simple.
It worked out in the long run.
This poor girl, too. Joel, were you there the night?
She listens, so
she does.
Yeah. Oh, certainly.
Should we have not been using her name?
I'm not gonna say.
No, I mean I think that's.
I don't
fine,
have anything bad to say bad about it. I'm talking.
I'm not worried about you saying bad things about her. I'm worried about you saying things about me that are gonna make her pissed.
No, I didn't
What
know.
would make her?
I don't know, but I just want to make sure.
So you're still in contact with her?
Oh yeah, I talk to her all the time.
Whoa.
She married with kid.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Man, when I lay it down forever.
And
never get over it.
They never get over it. Oh,
been 10 years.
And you're worried about something I'm gonna say that'll upset her.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, whatever. Go ahead.
I was just gonna the night that poor lost her virginity to our man here. I couldn't recall if Joel was present for that event.
I don't remember if I was present.
I remember you and Brad. That was.
I remember the story.
Yeah, when he comes running out in his boxer shorts and he starts running, waking up the entire apartment complex, knocking on people's doors. Meanwhile, this poor girl's in the room.
We didn't know these people. Like, we were friends with these people.
But still, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. You're knocking on everyone's doors, waking them up.
We're on the front porch,
laid.
completely fucking nude. Nothing I could have done would have topped that.
I beg to differ. But anyways, and meanwhile, she's laying in there like upset, and he gets back in, and she's like, "I thought we'd cuddle or something."
Thought wrong, bitch.
I'm like, you should have done a little more investigating on who you were losing your virginity to.
Oh man, that's and that was that. And then this is a story for another day. But you were pretty much out of the area for the better part of the next 3.5 years.
Something like that.
I remember you had a brief stint where you came back, but then you did a Britney Spears. Oops, you did it again.
I do remember.
And you just ditched on your mom. Remember?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
it just took off without her
I
going.
don't remember that.
I do remember that.
Remember, you came down.
It wasn't very long. It was like a week or two.
You came down with that one girl. What was her
Chrissy.
name? Christy. Yeah. Chrissy.
That was ex-best friend.
I wonder why she was an
You
ex.
get kicked out of one place, you got to jump into the next one. Do what you got to do.
God, why is she still friends with you?
I have no idea.
So you came back with that girl, and then just as quick, because I remember seeing you. We played NHL.
Yeah.
The one night, and then like a day or two later, you were just gone.
She wasn't a romantic interest. She was just a friend that I lived with.
Okay.
I mean, I did sleep with her for said place to stay, but that was once
She was
a
like,
month.
"This
I
is your payment. Come give it to
contractually
mama."
obligated to do it. What was I gonna do? Be homeless? Which I was for a little bit.
You gonna be a Durf? Okay. Wow. That's So do either of you? I guess to wrap up the story, you get to Owasso, and then at some point have to be like, "Oh shit, I need my stuff." And at that point, Jason's like, "Tough shit, I'm holding it for ransom," because that's what happened.
I mean, in fairness, like it's not like it was like vital stuff he needed, but it was
his
stuff.
clothes.
I got it,
It was
all
his
back.
clothes.
I got it all back. I got my posters back, hanging in my apartment
Yeah.
right now. And
yeah.
I don't remember paying dick. So
You
tell
don't
me.
remember.
You might not have to, but
Your
I think your
mom.
mom had to pay the ransom.
Hey, long as
She
you got
paid-
paid.
Jason had it stored up in Grandma's loft above the garage.
Did I?
That's where you took it so no one could find it.
Oh, that's right. I did. Yeah.
Because I remember Aunt Lori
It got
calling
found
me.
because I got it.
She wanted me to like be a broker with you. Like, can
A
you talk
broker?
to Jason? He's holding Brandon's clothes. Like,
Holding his clothes.
that's what you had
You
like
sick
clothes.
Yeah,
You
no, I got
monster.
it.
How
I
dare
got it.
you.
But I'm just saying, like, you know,
We was family for
like
people
this
forget,
poor
bro.
kid. Oh, you know, like I'm just taking his stuff for no reason.
Taking advantage of
He
our
owed me
situation.
plenty of cash.
And that whole fiasco cost you your white Chevy or Ranger or whatever it was, right? That S10, wasn't it?
No, that was over the big gay. Well, that's a story for a different time. That's a whole different story.
It was right in that whole era, though. So right before you left, then that's when your truck
it was somewhere.
Yeah, I lost my
was
truck before I left.
repossessed, essentially.
Yeah, I lost my truck before I left.
Okay, so that was part of the breakdown.
I mean, you don't have no money to fucking do anything. What are you gonna do?
I see.
Take advantage and float by. Till you can.
One last thing before we go. Hope everyone's enjoyed the show, but we're coming up on an hour mark. I got you a little gift, just a real little memento to mark the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to test your memory here. This is to commemorate a little bit what I like to call teeny power.
Oh fuck, that's sweet, dude.
There was a guy in one of the
That's really
Facebook
cool.
groups that was making the original muscle logo and
Yeah.
the sticker. So I bought a few.
Yeah, that's dope
Thought
as
I'd
shit.
get you one. Do you have any recollection of teenies?
Teenies. Were they? They were like muscles, all right.
No, weren't they the helpers that
man.
lived under the bed?
No.
I'm thinking of cuties.
You're thinking of cuties.
Yeah, I
Teeny was simply a word we made up when we were kids that meant like buddies or friends.
Teenies?
Yeah, we
remember
called each other teeny. You were my teeny.
I don't remember that.
Teeny power.
Didn't we have make believe like helpers that lived underneath our bed? We called teenies too.
I don't know that we called them teenies, but we did have make believe helpers.
Yeah, we'd hang our heads over the bed.
Upside
and-
down world. Yeah,
upside
upside down world.
down world.
It's amazing.
You guys had a song for it too. Fuck.
All right,
We
so
have very active imaginations.
final words, Jason, for this episode of Vagrants and Vandals Radio.
I had a good time. It's nice reminiscing. It's nice seeing Brandon. I haven't seen him much. I saw him at we were at Grandma's at the graveside, but besides that, I haven't seen him in quite a long time. So
I'm so much thinner now.
I'm looking forward to doing some more of this.
And BMO, final words.
Good times. Fuckers, like and subscribe. We'll
That's
see
right.
you next time.
You got that right. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, however that all works. I forget which one's which. But definitely subscribe on YouTube. And until next time.